Welcome everyone, and today's agenda, we're first going to do some quick introductions, go around the horn, and then we're going to spend a big chunk of time on data sufficiency, which is a type of quantitative question, math question, that's unique to the Gmat. So we're going to spend a big chunk of time on that. Then we're going to take a quick break, go through an overview of the course, talk a little bit about sentence correction, and then wrap up with some overview information about how the Gmat works and where we're going from here. Chris Ryan, and that's me with a terrible haircut. It's not much better now, but it's a little better. And here's my contact information, and I'll jump off the mic so Emily can get on and say hello.
Hello everyone, this is my contact information. Email is the best way to reach me, and I'm out in sunny, sometimes Southern California, and happy to be here.
There are a couple of other moderators in the room right now, folks at the top of the screen. Danielle DiCiaccio is in our student services group, so she's here just to make sure everyone's logged on and cool. If you have any questions about logistics, etc., you can send her a text message or just send one to the moderators. And Gerard's here from tech support to make sure that everyone's cool in a technical sense. So now what we're going to do is go around the horn. And
I guess I used to teach little kids how to play tennis in New York City. Yes, that's it.
Fantastic. Also, when you're on the mic, don't forget to click the microphone button off. Okay, Jean Laurent, you're up.
Hey everybody, my name is Jean Laurent, and let's see, well currently it's not really a job, but I'm a full-time law student at Chapman University here in Southern California, Orange County, and something unusual, I guess, I don't know, I was born and raised in Canada, is that unusual? Not really, but, oh, how about I have, my girlfriend has 4 children, and, you know, so it's pretty unusual for law students to go through law school and also tend to take care of children. That's about it.
Also, let us know if you did not get it. And then, at some point along the way, if you didn't already, send us a private text message. We've selected it, so it's just going to come to us, anything that you type, to let us know when and where you're applying to business school, when you're planning to take the GMAT, if you've planned that, and what your goal score or score goal is, if any. So let us know those things. So now we're going to just quickly do a quick tool check, and this will be the last bit of logistics. So there's a software orientation, so we're not going to do a whole lot of things on the tools, but to make sure that you can participate, I want to go through a couple of things. First of all, Windows layout, the layouts of the windows. This is under Tools at the top, Tools, Layouts, probably, or I'm sorry, View Layouts. I wrote it down wrong for myself. View Layouts. You probably are on the default layout, and a lot of people like the wide. Emily likes the wide. Pick one that's useful for you, but probably one of those top 2 would be what you want to go with. The green check and the red X. At the top, just underneath those menus, you should see a green, and you see numbers appear and so forth. And that lets us see if you've got a hand, you want to ask a question. Also, some people have found the emoticons. So I will sometimes ask you to give me a smiley face or give me a thumbs down. And we can get the sense of the class. And this is all public. There's no way to do it privately. So we'll use it from time to time, not typically to get your answers to a GMAT problem, but it's useful nonetheless. And then the blue door, everyone go ahead and pretend that they're stepping away. The way you do that is at the bottom right. That way we know not to call on you and say, hey, Andrew, and you've actually needed to let the dogs out or something. I'm not sure if you're living with dogs right now, but whatever it is, let us know when you're not here by clicking on that blue door. Still recording in the sense you're still in the room. Don't actually exit Illuminate. So give me a smiley face if you're ready to move on, or give me a thumbs down if you're not. Oh. And some people saying E. Let's see. So we've got a variety here. Angela, do you want to jump?
The test itself. Now, some of you have probably already learned a little bit about how the test is graded, how your score is actually generated, but I'm going to quickly review it for us. Here's how the scoring algorithm works in an idealized fashion. So I'm going to use a meet. A meet, or is it a mit? Hope you don't mind me messing up your name. Actually, you didn't get a chance to say hi to the group earlier. I mean, would you grab the mic now and just say hi, tell us where you are, and then I'll use you as our example person here, which won't require anything from you except for to sit there and let me talk about you. Hi, do you hear me now? Hello? Yeah, we can hear you. I actually turned your volume up just a little bit, but it sounds great now. So hop on, tell me the pronunciation of your name and where you are, where you work. I think you were probably talking into the abyss. I think you clicked after you spoke. Why don't you try that again? Just click. And what you see happening is this convergence. With every question, the algorithm learns that below the line is too low for you, and all of these are too high for you. So it's figuring out as it goes that your ability level must be in the middle. Okay? And roughly speaking, towards the end of the test, these questions are pretty much tuned to your ability level. And where you end up is what you get. So give me a smiley face if that is making complete sense to you. And fire away if there are questions. Cool. Now here is something interesting. What I'm showing is actually two perfect test takers. This is a me, and let's say this is me down here. Ability level is lower. So certainly not perfect in terms of knowledge, but I am perfect in execution. The Gmat is still feeling around for what questions I can handle. I always answer the ones below my line correctly and miss the ones above my line. And so something that is significant about both of these people is that where they end up is where what score they get. They also both miss half the questions along the way, just because I believed it when I took the exam the first time. It basically goes like this. The first 7 to 10 questions set the tone for the rest of the exam. It seems like that here, right? That's where our divergence between me and me happened. But what would you do to be sure that you're getting these right at the beginning? I mean, what do you cross your fingers? What's the method that people use to do so? There's really no other way except for take a little bit extra time. Yeah, and actually, that is the big problem. Okay, let's look at why it's not such a big deal to mess up at the beginning and why you don't set the tone poorly as a result of doing that. If you miss a couple questions, even a few, long time to redeem yourself here. There are a lot of questions in which to do so. The flip side of that is, if you did spend a little bit of extra time, or as most people do, a lot of extra time at the beginning, you run a much greater risk of this happening. Okay, and this is what several of you mentioned in terms of strategy. You want to make sure you answer all the questions, because if you don't, they count as wrong answers, obviously, since you didn't get the right answer in. But even if you got an answer in, it would be more likely to be incorrect because of rushing. Okay, and a string of wrong answers at the end leaves no time for recovery, and so it does tend to depress your score. And actually, I'll quantify this for you in a little bit. This line is basically what happens when you answer randomly and get a bunch wrong. The line I just drew in is what happens when you leave them blank. Okay, there's actually a punishment for blank answers. So that's our first strategy for you. Make sure you get an answer in, even if it's completely random, if you are running out of time. You may be good at that particular topic, and it may feel easy to you, even though there's something tricky about it that makes it difficult for other people. In fact, you may look at a problem and feel like it's really difficult, and maybe there's just something about it that you're missing. It's technically an easy one. So you really can't, give it too much thought. And the Gmat writers don't try to guess this either. They actually measure difficulty level by running it by a bunch of test takers. 1,000 to 2,000. What they get is like information about how many people, what percent of people miss it, and also which people tend to miss it. High scorers, low scorers. And what that implies for you is two things. About a quarter of the problems that you see will be experimental, which means they're collecting data from you to be used to kind of vet problems to give to future test takers. Okay? So if you are worried about a particular question, there's a very good chance that it's an experimental one. Okay? Main message there would be always say, compute the score. Okay? If you cancel it, it basically shows up as if you showed up on test day, but nothing was recorded. Sort of like dropping a class in college. Yeah. All right. A couple more things to note. Remember that thing about guessing at the end is better than blanks? Well, here's proof of that. This has actually been measured by some empirical studies. 3 test takers. The thing about these guys is they have the same ability level. They should all get a 70 percentile. And the guy who finishes on time gets that. Okay? He's lived up to his potential. He's performed the way he was expected to. He made 0 random guesses. How many guesses do you think he made overall? Type it in, guess. Is it 0 overall or something else? We're going to see several work. As you go on, you'll be collecting data on yourself. We'll talk later about how to assess how you're doing, whether you have sort of reached your target. Use that assessment to plan which weaknesses to work on next. And towards the end of this whole process, like week 9 and beyond, we'll talk about how to develop your game plan for the actual test day. Let's talk a little bit more about building that foundation and what's involved in that. I showed you the syllabus and the class organizer earlier. Basically, these are the components. The work we do together, the work you do on your own, the timed practice that you do in online labs and so on, and the interaction that you have in office hours. Going to official guide problems to apply your knowledge and repeat it by revisiting topics from time to time is key. I'm going to talk about timing drills in just a moment, how to time yourself. But this is basically aimed at learning the content.
You found it useful, and there's going to be a lot of work for next week. Definitely take advantage of the office hour homework help. You look in your welcome guide on how to access that as you go through the work. So really excited to be working with you all, and I know Emily feels the same. And let's turn on. We're going to turn on the chat window so that you can text to each other as well. And if you want to text to us privately, you see just below where you type in, it says send to. Just choose send to moderators, and you'll be sending just to us. We removed the chance of sending publicly to make sure that you send private responses to us. But I hope you all also communicate with each other, and really looking forward to working with you all. So thanks a lot. We're going to turn off the recording now.